Our next speaker is Ms. Dias, and she holds a master's degree of arts in international relations from the University of Colombo, and interestingly, a graduate diploma in toxicology. She's an academic who has experience and knowledge both in international relations and natural sciences, which I think is a very interesting, combination of research interests. She also has a Bachelor of Science degree in biological sciences and also a Bachelor of Science in information technology with special honors. So some of our work, current work, includes areas in human security, environmental governance, intellectual property, and sustainable development. And she's here to present her thoughts on and her analysis and research on the transboundary effects of air pollution from smog in India and Nepal, and the policy response of SAARC to address this issue.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all of you, conference chair, distinguished guests, students, and ladies and gentlemen. I'll be presenting my paper. The topic is Transboundary Implications of India and Nepal Air Pollution Policy Implementation and South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Air pollution, it is one of the worst environmental risks as well as serious public health concern. Air pollution means introduction of particulates, biological molecules, or other harmful materials into Earth's atmosphere, possibly causing disease, death to humans, damage to other living organisms such as food crops, natural environment, and built-in environment. Transboundary air pollution. Air pollution is transported over hundreds or even thousands of kilometers. Air pollution has no regard for national boundaries. It originates in one country but is able to cause damage to another country's environment. This is called transboundary air pollution. Acid rain is one example of transboundary air pollution because it can be blown anywhere by the wind. It causes many problems such as damage to buildings and historical monuments, metals dissolved by acid rain, vegetation can be damaged, lakes and rivers can be acidic, harming the ecosystem, aquatic life, and solid acidity increases. Also, non-polluted countries can be seriously impacted. Also, transboundary air pollution exposure has associated adverse health impacts, and it is a major source of morbidity and mortality. The young and the old with vulnerable immune systems are most at risk from this air pollution. Air pollutants can irritate the eyes and throat, irritate the skin, and damage lungs, especially of people who work or exercises outside, children and senior citizens. Long-term exposure can lead to more serious health problems such as impaired lung function and higher rates of lung disease. Sources of air pollution. These pollutants can mostly from vehicle exhaust, burning of fossil fuel, plants that make electricity, factories, burning of wood, ships, and aircraft. Some particles released into the atmosphere due to natural disasters such as forest fires and erupting volcanoes. And the India air pollution, which I have taken as a case study. India, identified as world's deadliest air pollution country, millions of deaths occur annually due to air pollution. Population, industrialization, weak implementation of policies, and non-existence of policies could be key factors for high air pollution levels. The economic effects of air pollution are severe in India. The fastest growing country in South Asia is said to see a rise in particulate pollution over the next few years as its energy demands increase. More and more cities are experiencing unhealthy levels of air pollution as due to unplanned urbanization and population growth. India needs strict enforcement and policies to reduce the smog and particulate pollution in coming years. Indeed, improving the governance process of environment requires the setting up of new institutions, the strengthening of existing institutions, and providing a policy framework with the NGOs and other organizations. Also, these are the pictures I have taken to show the status of air pollution. One is the Taj Mahal, which is one of the major landmarks in India, and other one is Delhi. And the other country which I have taken as a case study is Nepal. Years of unabated population growth and lack of stringent pollution regulation and policies have left a deep imprint on the environment in Nepal. Air quality in both urban and rural areas are deteriorating in the country, with Kathmandu in particular being a very high levels of risk. The sustained exposure to particulates with smog and the cause for high incidence of eye disease and respiratory diseases in the country. The Nepal's air quality is the fourth worst in the world according to the year's 2016 Environmental Performance Index, as well as there are some images that shows Nepal air pollution threat to humans and glaciers. And this is also another image that new research shows how haze from India and Nepal travels in causing pollution spike on Everest northern slopes, as well as the other picture is a satellite image shows the atmospheric brown cloud. Impacts of transboundary air pollution. The soot, sulfates and other harmful aerosols in atmospheric brown cloud pose a major threat to water and food security of Asia according to a 2008 study by the United Nations Environmental Programme. The soot settles on the glaciers, darkening the snow and increasing the absorption of energy. This speeds up the melting of glaciers and snowpack in the Hindu Kush Himalayas, which provide water for millions of people living downstream. As well as pollutants also absorb the sun and heat the atmosphere, and so are considered so important as greenhouse gas warming in accounting for the anomalously large warming trend observed in the elevated regions. The Mali Declaration, it is one of the transboundary air pollution protocol in South Asia region, and the Governing Council of the South Asia Cooperative Environmental Programme adopted the Mali Declaration on Control and Prevention of Air Pollution and its likely transboundary effects for South Asia in 1919 at its 7th meeting. The declaration stated that the need for countries of South Asia to carry forward initial studies and programs on air pollution. The Mali Declaration is the first regional environmental agreement in South Asia to tackle the transboundary air pollution. The participating countries are Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Iran, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. UNEP is the secretariat for the Mali Declaration programs. There are 4 phases in Mali Declaration. Phase 1, baseline information and awareness raising. Phase 2, capacity building. Phase 3, tackling air pollution problems through impact assessment studies. Phase 4, strengthening initiatives and developing new ones. And conclusion, the expansion of environmental politics is seen as a major revolution and has also expanded the form of political activity in international relations. Transboundary air pollution is difficult to the region where none of the countries can't maintain in isolation. International actions and collaboration are required to control transboundary air pollution effects and formation. The regional cooperation is important to find a solution to long-distance transboundary air pollution in the Himalayan region, and also transboundary air pollution affects the tourism in that region. The most people in the source regions don't even know the consequences of the pollution they are emitting. There are huge data gaps and gaps in the scientific understanding of the relationship between source regions and location of impacts. Weak implementation of policies and non-existence of policies can be identified. The Mali Declarations of Control and Prevention of Air Pollution and its likely transboundary effects of South Asia, adopted by some South Asian countries in 1998, has not produced proper results. These are the references and the acknowledgement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz. If I may say that I'm glad I sat in a presentation on air pollution, because often when we talk about the maritime field, we talk about land-based pollution, we talk about pollution, oil source of pollution and other things, but we always forget the air, which is obviously a very big problem for us in the region. And when we talk about transboundary effects of pollution, I suppose since we're talking about India and Nepal, the question for Sri Lanka is that then who pays for the effect of that pollution? And it goes, that question goes around, the different countries in the room.